to Blues Fans TV. I am Sophie Rose. Don't forget this video is sponsored by OneFootball. It's a great football app where you can download all the latest Chelsea news, transfer talk, other Premier League news, see what our rivals and competitors are up to. We fully support the app, so please do give it a download using the link in the description below. Anyway, let's get into today's video. What an absolutely fantastic win. The scoreline doesn't reflect how well we played. Great to get a win, great to get a clean sheet. I believe it could have been 2 or 3-0. I still believe that Werner's goal was onside. It must have been a fingernail off, you know? So really disappointed with that, but let's not focus on the negatives, we'll focus on the positives. And so this video is going to be based on 5 things we learned yesterday, 5 reasons why we won against Liverpool. So let's get into it. In at number 1, we defended it extremely well. You know, Liverpool for the most part didn't really give it a go. I think in the second half, because we already had the lead, we sort of, you know, just tried to protect that lead and focus on not conceding and not dropping another couple of points. We haven't won at Anfield since around 2014, so it's been a few years since we've managed to win there, and I just was thrilled with the way we performed. Christensen in particular for me was fantastic. A lot of guys criticised his performance. I thought he was there. I thought he was communicating with the back line well. At one point I think Liverpool had a chance towards the last sort of 10 minutes and Christensen purposely moved himself sort of out of the way because he didn't want to deflect the ball into the back of his own net, which I thought again was a really good move from him. Smart choice. But he was just everywhere. He was sort of in the mix. He was, you know, kicking the ball out of the box, doing exactly what he should do. He was just on the ball basically the entire time. And the way our back line passed the ball in our own box with, you know, completely chilled, no worries, complete confidence that Liverpool weren't going to steal the ball. Obviously that's down to them putting in a horrendous performance, but you know, we were just confident. I never was nervous during the game. The only time I was nervous was when the teams were coming out, because Liverpool looked like they were gonna, you know, do something to, I don't know, rattle us a little bit, cause us problems, and I didn't see that at all. And I just thought our backline was completely solid from everybody. A few missed tackles from Dave here and there that he got away with, but nevertheless fantastic defending all the way through the game, and I was just really impressed with them. In at number 2 then, how could we not talk about Mason Mount? I'm sure you've all seen my shake it video. It was my celebration for his goal. No, I wasn't putting that on. That is how I celebrate a goal. But, you know, I can't be sexy all the time, guys. Sometimes I just want to let loose. That's not how I actually would dance in the club. It's just my celebration for when Mason scores a goal. But not only was his goal, you know, very Hazard-esque, I thought. Not only was his goal fantastic, he used brilliant initiative there. He went for it. It was just a fantastic goal all round. He had probably about 3 Liverpool players on him that couldn't get anywhere near him, and he put the ball in the corner of the net, and I just thought it was fantastic. Not only that though, he was getting in amongst players the entire game. He took the ball off of the opposition so many times, making those important tackles, coming in behind players when they least expect it without fouling them, and giving us back possession. So that's something that I haven't seen us do as much recently, and I was just thrilled that we actually dug into Liverpool like that. And I think Mason, for me, was my man of the match. I'm not sure who yours was. There could be, you know, a lot of players out there. Kante I thought was fantastic. Like I said, Christensen. There was a lot of amazing players yesterday, and I thought overall the team effort was phenomenal. So I don't want to single out just one or 2 players, but Mace for me got my man of the match, because not only did he score a fantastic goal, he was doing everything that he should be doing and proving why he's not just good enough for Chelsea but good enough for England too, by, you know, getting in amongst players, causing them problems all over the middle of the pitch. And yeah, I couldn't give his performance any less than a 10 out of 10. In at number 3 then is how well we passed the ball. Now I mentioned this a little bit with the defence and how good they were, but all around the pitch we seemed in complete control of that ball. We never looked nervous. We were able to pick players out. We were able to press forward and move the ball at the same time. We sort of dominated the game. And I think Tuchel's whole style, like I said, is always very high intensity, fast paced. We didn't do any messing about. The game, the pace of our play wasn't slow at all. And Liverpool really didn't know how to deal with that. They sort of looked like they ran out of ideas at the end. Every time they got the ball, it was dispossessed, more or less. I'd love to know what the stat was on that. Comment below if you know. But just fantastic all-round play from everyone and working together as a team and passing the ball well. We never looked like we were running out of options. We were able to get the ball into that final third pretty easily. Yeah, Liverpool didn't give us much trouble, but aside from that, a lot of that was to do with how we played, and I was just thrilled to see us giving it a go and not just winning the game by a confident 1-0, but playing well as a team all together. And that's something that I also haven't seen properly in a while. I know Tuchel's record is fantastic now. He's only drawn 2, the rest of him wins, which is fantastic since he's come in. It's a great start for any manager to have, and that's down to the way we're playing and passing the ball. In at number 4 is gonna be the fact that we went there to win and attack. We didn't sit back. We didn't try to get them on the counter attack. It was, for the most part, all Chelsea. I know they sort of pushed us in the second half a little bit, but again, I wasn't worried. All I wanted, and I said in my preview, was that we go to Anfield and we actually try to get 3 points. We don't sit back. We attack. We know their defence is weak. I know I think they went out and bought 2 centre-backs just because Van Dijk's been injured for the majority of the season. But we kept attacking them, and I knew there was going to be a breakthrough. I was praying for a goal just before half-time. Mason delivered that. It was a long time coming. Like I said, Timo Werner also scored a fantastic goal that was ruled offside. But besides that, those sort of things don't happen unless you're playing a particular way. And we went there, in an attacking nature. And that's all I wanted to see. The days of going to Anfield and sort of doing what Mourinho did, for instance, is fantastic, and that was a masterclass from him back then. But I do think the league's changed since then, and Tuchel's way of playing is very attacking. So he put Kante in there, and I have to admit I was wrong here, and I sort of said that was a very defensive thing to do, but Kante was causing them problems all over the pitch. Every time they had the ball, again, it was dispossessed. He was in there doing what he does best. For somebody who's, not exactly the tallest guy in the world, it sort of benefits him the other way, because players don't really see him coming, and the fact that he's able to make these tackles without fouling is, again, another quality that we have, and another amazing player that we have in our side. So we were able to push forward because we had others steadying the field. So I'm thrilled with how we played. I'm so glad we didn't come there and just let them press us. We actually gave it a good go, and maybe they didn't expect that. Maybe they thought we would come and we would, sit back, park the bus, and sort of try to win on the counter, and we didn't do that. And I think that caused them problems, not just in their ability to push forward, but I think their confidence levels went after that as well, because we were just totally in control of the game. And in number 5 then, I'm actually going to switch this up and say one of the reasons we won is because of how terrible Liverpool were. I'm not even trying to be biased. I don't hate Liverpool like I hate Spurs. It's not like a deep hatred that I have for them. I hate them as one of the big 6 rivals. So I know Chelsea and Liverpool have a lot of history, and the whole Steven Gerrard thing and blah, blah, blah. But for me, putting that aside, I don't know what even Klopp was thinking in his substitutions. He takes Salah off, puts Milner on. Apparently they were saying that's for leadership or whatever. I don't really get that. If anybody should have come off, it should have been Mane or Firmino. They were both awful. Liverpool didn't have any shots on. I think they had like one shot on target. Every single time they had the ball in the final third. Mane actually missed it. He had the chance, more or less, one-on-one with the keeper, missed it and kicked the air. Firmino was heading the ball left, right and centre. It just wasn't the Liverpool that we're all used to seeing. We took the ball off them so many times. They lost possession numerous amounts of time throughout the first and second half. They didn't press us at all. We had the ball and you couldn't see one player trying to make a tackle, trying to dispossess us, nothing. And I was just like, surely that's sort of like common sense that every single team, especially a team that's defending the title, would know and would come out to do, especially in such a big game. But we were able to move the ball so freely. Liverpool also looked very tired to me, which was strange because we were the team that was doing all the running. Again, it looked like they were sort of out of ideas. They looked very unmotivated as well, which I was shocked because when they came out of the stands, they were all having this little pep talk about, you know, and shaking each other's hands, and I was actually getting a little bit nervous. But from 10 minutes in, I was like, why was I so nervous? Because they've offered nothing. They don't seem like they're a team that are playing well together. Individually, some of their best players, like Mane, like Firmino, aren't playing well. So it was just crazy to me. Even Thiago, I thought was rubbish. You know, and that's not me being biased again. That's just me looking at the game and seeing a team that won the title so convincingly to more or less throwing it away. Now they can't even, well, fans are starting to get worried they won't even make the Europa League, let alone top four. And I have to say, you know, not one bad result or a run of bad results doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a terrible season, you know, when it gets to the end of May. I mean, look at City. They started off horrendously and now they are on probably about 14 points ahead. So it doesn't define you in that, but it's the way you lose games and the way you pick up from that. And if Liverpool continue to perform the way they did, they won't be winning any games anytime soon. They haven't won at Anfield since December. I think that's the stat anyway. They've all been losses, haven't scored there anyway. So there's clearly an issue going on there. But a lot of the things yesterday, yes, I think Klopp made the wrong substitutions. And I also think their all-round play as a team together was below average. And I'm sure many Liverpool fans, especially that Robert was sitting Alex was sitting next to me, he was upset because of the way they were playing. And I thought at the start it was just because of injuries, but that's, for me, I think there's something else going on there, because there's no way that bunch of players can really sort of turn from being the top to what I consider mid-table, if that team. You know, that was one of the worst performances I've seen. Anyway, I've gone on too long about Liverpool, but they gave us too much time on the ball, and you know, like I said, I was completely chilled. I never had anything major to worry about, and that's not what you want from a team. You want your team to fear other teams, and I didn't. So I'm sure a lot of Chelsea fans are happy. I thought it was a fantastic game. So happy with the way we played. I'm sure Tuchel was so excited. He was like screaming, jumping around, hugging Christensen, hugging the boys, and he was thrilled with that win. And I'm proper happy with that result. If you want to see more videos like this, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That's all we can ask. Anyway, I will see you all for more news ahead of our game on Monday.